This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Hello, America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents. Our first guest today is Cindy Duncan, and I have known Cindy for, going on 15 years or longer. And I've watched her go through the process with a variety of inventions. And, all this time, when she has been working on it, her goal has been wanting to manufacture in the U.S. And now, as we've seen things starting to shift, holy cow, there are some options there. So, Cindy, thank you so much for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
So, tell our listeners about the Hotyz 2-in-1 chaps.
Oh, okay. They're kind of unusual. I used to raise Arabians and I needed to wear chaps. And then I got into soft tail Harley motorcycles. And I realized women have a wardrobe problem. So I saw the problem. And it's just got an insert that you zip and unzip. And you can wear them like regular chaps, or you can put in an insert that can change so the money's in the inserts, and you zip it in and it's a full pant.
So when somebody is out there and they've been riding their Harley all day long, or they've been on horseback, they go into the ladies' room, zip in a new insert, and it's like they've changed their clothes completely.
Correct. You can be wearing leather chaps and have in the leather insert with your brand stamped on the back if you want, if you're in a ranch or a Harley club. And then you can go to the bathroom, unzip it halfway, do your business, zip it back up so you don't have to take all your clothes off. And then you can change your insert out, and you can have a sexy lace insert that you can zip in, and it looks like you have jean pants on with your chaps over it, or you can put in a jean insert. So you have a jean insert, a lace insert, the leather insert, and you just change the looks of your chaps. And
right.
It's all flare.
Well, and, you're only limited then, as far as a licensee goes, by the imagination of what you want to zip into it, right?
That's correct. And it's so easy to unzip. You can do it while you're walking.
So you've been working on this one for a long time. What have been the challenges of manufacturing overseas versus trying to find someone that can manufacture in the U.S.?
Well, I've only tried overseas twice, and that was just a hassle, mostly because of the purchase ordering and where it's going to land and whether they would take my IP. Now, the main problem that I had, mostly because I wanted to do it here, was that manufacturing here is very bad. And I've gone through 9 different prototypes, 9 manufacturers. They literally cannot even do top stitching right.
Huh.
They say they want patterns, and they say they want tech packs. I give them tech packs. I give them both tech packs patterns. They'll literally send me a prototype on a size 10 chap, and the insert will have a size 12 pocket. So the pockets overwhelm the insert. I mean, that's just the basics they cannot do.
Huh. So tell me about the zipper.
Well, my zipper, I created it because my inserts go along the edge of your posterior. So it's circular. And when I was making them, the cost to make them is, of course, how much time it takes. So for to make it. So you have to cut the zipper all along the curve. So me and my master tailor were trying to figure out how to do this. So what happened is we made the zipper elasticized. So now you don't have to cut the tape as you go along curves. And it cuts down on manufacturing time. You don't have the edges of the cut tape that'll ball up when you wash it. And with it being elasticized, the zipper has more give. So it's good for clothing, especially like in outdoor because it has a lot more give and pull. Plus, it's good for like luggage. If you overstuff your luggage, the zipper will give more as opposed to a regular zipper. I basically revolutionized the zipper.
Well, excellent, because you know what? We've all got hundreds of zippers on different things in, our homes and everything that we buy from, different storage bags to the suitcases to our phones to our shirts and jackets and coats and gloves and turn it over or in the clover. All right. So when you are looking then at next steps, what are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to be able to do?
Well, I wanted my chaps so women would have them. It solves our problems with going to the restroom and having accessories and looking beautiful. I'll never give up on that. But I really do now that I have my zipper patented. I need to go into the next steps of reaching out and getting exposure. And once people see just how versatile it is, I think it's just going to sell itself. I just need the exposure.
Excellent. Excellent. So, I remember the first time I met you, you were standing on a table demoing the inserts in the Chaps. I thought all of the men were going to fall right off their chairs. They loved watching you. It's, all right. So for our listening audience out there, imagine this woman is so intent on her Chaps and she's standing on this table doing a demo on how you zip these things in and out. And the older men are just kind of tipping over in their chairs so they can watch her unzip these Chaps. And, if you've never worn a pair of Chaps, think about it. They are, yeah, you've seen cowboys, so I don't need to explain anymore, but holy cow, some of these guys were just so freaking, I'm watching the guys. And so no offense, Cindy, I thought the Chaps were really cool, but I was watching the guys fall off their chairs.
I just ignored everything. I was so used to showing them that I got on the table and just started walking back and forth and I wasn't even paying attention.
So, and our favorite one was Frank Armbruster, bless his heart. He just thought you were awesome. So, he's one of those rocket scientists I talk about, but, anyway. So, Cindy, thanks so much for being with us today. I appreciate it very, very much. We've got to run off and pay some bills, everybody, but stick with us because our next guest actually manufactures here in the U.S., and she helps other inventors manufacture textiles in the U.S., and she is out of the great state of Kentucky. So stick with us, everybody. We will be right back with Stacey.
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. And our guest right now she's got a really great story. So she's an inventor and she's a manufacturer. So we're going to talk to Stacey Beeler from, I want to say Stitch, Kentucky, but I know that it's not called,
That's correct. That is correct. Stitch, Kentucky. Yes.
Well, okay. And so where exactly are you in Kentucky?
I am in Liberty, Kentucky. So when you were talking about Liberty Tableware, yes, we're located in South Central Kentucky.
Okay. All right. So I read your bio and you were an inventor. You did invent something. What did you invent?
Yes, ma'am. So when my son was 3, he had something that is the most scary thing in the world, and it's a febrile seizure. So we woke up in the middle of the night to Sawyer's temperature being just out of this world, and he was having a seizure. So when we get to the hospital, I asked my pediatrician, I said, is there something something that we can put on him, some kind of device to let us know if his fever's going to go up again. And he said, no, there isn't anything like that. So I set out to try to figure out how to invent that. So it wasn't something that I could make in my garage or at my kitchen table. So it was a little difficult, but I did find the Whirlpool Mother of Invention contest. And so I entered my idea in it and I won first place. I won all kinds of wonderful Whirlpool appliances and a trip to Benton Harbor, Michigan. But it was a device that would actually be placed under someone's arm, and it would actually let your cell phone know if their fever went up. So we have since partnered with the University of Louisville with that, and they work with the Christopher Reeves Foundation because paraplegics have a difficult time monitoring their fever. So that's my invention, and we haven't done anything great with it, but we're still working on it. It's still out there.
Well, congratulations. That's a
Yes.
big deal. Yeah, absolutely. I know we had a young woman who had early onset Parkinson's. So she had a feeding tube through high school and college, and there was nothing that they could find to treat that. And I got to give her credit, man. It's like, me do my own self, like my grandson taught me when he was 2. She went to college, became a chemist, and she found a solution to the problem. And we ended up licensing that to the company that makes the feeding tubes. And they go,
Wow.
we knew it was a problem. It's been a problem for decades, and we had no idea how to fix it. And so they went after then the FDA approval and the international approval, and they are now selling all over the world.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I may need you to help me, Rita. We may dig back into that. That's been several years ago. But that was my invention. So I also had a product that was Snap Dolls. And it was a children's t-shirt that actually worked like a paper doll on their shirt. And so that was fun.
Whoa.
That was more of a fun thing that we could make and do here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got, when I went to your website and I looked at all the different types of things you make. So how did you get into being now owner of Stitch Kentucky?
Well, the fact that we were making Snap Dolls, we started making those in our home in the garage, and Oshkosh was in our community about 20 years ago, and it employed over 400 sewing machine operators. And Fruit of the Loom was about 24 miles up the road from me. And so we were able to bring those people who had worked in those factories with the huge sewing skills that they had and be able to bring them in to work with us. So we went from making our own product to looking for products that we could sew for other people.
So what do you need then from someone to be able to take on their product? How far along do you need them to be?
We've worked with people in all stages. We've worked with people who just have an idea written on a dinner napkin. We've worked with folks who actually have made samples or they have a prototype, and we've taken it from there. We've grown our company to now we have over 50 seamstresses and actually more that we could bring in if necessary. But as far as what we would need from them, it would just be their idea, Rita, and from that we could help them if it's something that's sewn or just a basic manufacturing skill. We can do that here in Kentucky.
All right, so give our listeners some ideas of the things you make.
Okay, sure. So we have made backpacks. There was a company that did a really neat thing. When people went out of the country, they would buy fabric wherever they were and bring it back, and we would turn that into backpacks. So that was a neat thing. We've made children's wear. We've made all kinds of dog and pet clothing, leashes, articles used by pets. Currently, we're making exercise outfits by a company that's out of Ohio. Our largest customer, we actually sewed for Toyota for a few, Toyota Bashoku, which is a feeder into big Toyota. And we sewed over 5,000 car door panels a day.
Wow,
So, yeah, we can do the very small orders or we can do the larger orders.
Amazing. So, with things that are shifting now in the country, how do you see that benefiting now being made in America?
And not to get into any kind of political stance, but if we can shift some of that into the United States, it would be huge. Just because where we're working right now with Toyota Bashoku, and they're getting part of their products in Mexico and part that come into us. It's such a headache. If we find a mistake, we have to go back days or weeks with Mexico to correct that. Where if it's made right here in the United States, we can stop it within just an hour or so.
Wow.
So we're just not, that's one thing. And I guess if we can bring these jobs back to our people, it just is better all around.
Absolutely. I mean, Michael and I have talked about this. Greg Owens does the next hour that's made in the USA, made in America. And when we look at now things starting to shift, that pendulum starting to shift, that's a really good thing for us because we've been complaining about it for a long time, but now we can finally do something about it.
Right. No, that's exactly right. So we're just waiting to see. Hopefully we've been contacted by lots of companies who are hoping to shift some of their manufacturing into the United States. So
Well,
hopefully we'll.
Yeah. I mean, and I know we've talked about this before. It's like people are sick of the bad quality of stuff. When things come in and it's like, I'm not sure what size 10 they were looking at, but obviously it was a size 2. And then you've got a pair of gloves or something. Mine was the chandelier that fell off the holders and into the sink and cracked the sink. It's like, Lowe's, if you send me something that was made in China, I'm going to come back and throw it at you. And so that was, the whole thing is the quality is so bad. When you've got made in America, now you don't have to deal with the shipping and your quality is better.
Right. No, I agree. I totally agree.
And so we're excited. We're excited to be part of this new opportunity. We're excited to see the changes coming around and being able to say, okay, America, let's go back to what we were good at. It's like when they used to say, that's the school systems, before there was the federal school, education, we were number 1 in the world. And after now 50 years of having, the school board, we're number 47. So let's get our manufacturing back in the US where we've got really good quality. So we're going to continue this conversation because it really gets me hot and bothered. Anyway, Stacey, I hope you don't mind if we pull you just a little bit into the politics part of it, but we are going to go now. Thank you. We are going to go now into our next segment. And right now we're going to go pay some bills. So everybody stick with us because we're having a really good time with, I'm not going to steal Greg's, Made in America. We're doing Made in America. Hang by, everybody. We're going to come right back with our guest, Stacey Beeler. If you're an inventor or an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free, inventorsroundtable.org. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. Thank you, Stacey, for being with us for this segment of Invent America. And we are part of history where we are seeing things shift from, I think we were part of both sides of that history. We saw things shift out of the country, and now we are fortunate to see things coming back to the country for a variety of reasons. And part of it is quality, part of it is expensive shipping. And now, holy cow, we get to see inventors, because that's generally what I'm dealing with, inventors now bringing their manufacturing into America. And when they get teed up and they've got something new, like the lady that I sent to you last week, it's wonderful for me to be able to say, all right, you know what? Call Stacey.
Yes.
So when you look at a variety of the different things that you are able to make, tell us some of those different categories. I mean, you told us dog products, leashes. I've got a guy that's been struggling with getting a leash made. He's got a metal part, but then he's got the leash part. So I might send him over to you.
Right.
We had a lady that did a hot tub product, and her issue was not just the bag, which she could have had made in the U.S. It was the weights that went into it had to have been shipped from China. So you're looking at, all right, so is it possible to ship in part of the product to you so that you could make the base and then package it and get it shipped out?
Sure. And a good example of that, my nephew actually has an invention that he is selling, and it's called Sticky Grippy. It's a grippy that goes on the back of a cell phone. And if you're in your kitchen and want to stick it on the wall, or if you're in the bathroom and you want to stick your phone on the mirror while you're getting ready, whatever you need to do. Well, that's what he did. And so he wanted a neat packaging to go with that. So we actually sewed a drawstring bag. So he did get that made in China. And then once it came here, we were able to do a packaging for it. So we can do that type of thing as well.
Excellent. So I know there's another company in California. I will send you their contact name because you might be able to do some of that for them. They're Packwell Manufacturing, and their packaging is all done here in the U.S., but their specialty now is not the fabric ones. It is the blister packs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the CEO, her grandfather was the inventor of the blister pack.
Oh, how neat.
I know, right?
I would love to meet them.
So I will send you their contact information. That's one of the big things we do. It's like, oh, let me send you this person's contact information. Nope, let me send you over here to Stacey and have her see if she can make that for you. But that is what we do for inventors, is give them good service providers, give them options. But it's wonderful then when we have an actual service provider like you that we can put together with another service provider.
Yeah, it's great. And you know, another thing, and Rita, you can speak to this way more intelligently than I can, but one of our clients is bringing in different parts and then we're assembling it. So on her package, she has assembled in the United States. So maybe all the parts, the snaps, being used, and there are a couple of things that she actually is not having made here, but where we are assembling it, she can put that on her packaging.
Yes, absolutely. And I learned this from Greg Owens from, Made in the USA hours. You've got to be very careful because the government, really watches that stuff. But when it's assembled, then that is the line that you're able to use. So it's better than nothing. All right. When you can't say made in America, but you can at least know that something part of it was done. And then if you're able to do, the packaging and, the warehousing and shipping from, a company like Packwell that does all of their stuff in-house, those are all good things for our economy.
Absolutely. And we would love to be a part of that for anyone who needs anything assembled or warehoused or anything.
So how long have you been with Stitch Kentucky?
So we started out in a very small building 10 years ago downtown. Stitch Kentucky was first originally named Bluegrass Cut and Sew. And when we moved into a larger building, now we're in a much larger warehouse where we've got lots and lots of space. So we need some more business. But when we moved there, that was 3 years ago. So we've been rolling for about 10 years.
All right. So you know what? Don is not here to defend himself. But how did you meet Don Skaggs? Because he is on the radio with us multiple times a year. And I have known this guy for, pushing 15 years now. But how did you meet him?
Don Skaggs is such an incredible guy. And I had heard of him different times when I was working with people. They would say that Don Skaggs sent on there. So Don actually came to me with one of his clients who was needing a product sewn related to underwear. And so
I know that guy. I know who it is. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we're sewing now for them. We're really excited about their product. And
yeah,
that's all I can tell about it at this time. But that's how I met Don. But he is such an asset, and he really has helped us in a lot of ways since we met him.
Well, he is a terrific guy. And I am going to send out your name and contact information to all of the inventor groups in America so they can get you on as a speaker. I'm going to post your stuff. I'm certainly going to get your information to Greg because he does the Made in America Hour. He may have you on as a guest as well. But I know there are things that we can do to help Stitch Kentucky get to those next steps. And we will have you back on again, hopefully when we get you a couple of inventors so that you can brag about some of the things that you've done.
Right.
And this has been wonderful. I was so glad I was at that meeting where Dawn introduced me to you. And now we have got the option of introducing you to America. So Stacey, thanks so much for being part of our group. And America, you know what? Next week, we are going to have another hour, Invent America. If you know an inventor out there who is ready to go with a product, who's got questions about a product, who needs help on a product, or you know what, just wants to sign up to show off on the radio, have them get in touch with Rita at inventorlady.com